Let's talk about something really ugly. And no, it's not your ex.
How'd you do that?
I see that success is not something you pursue. It is something you are.
So let's talk about failure, because nobody really talks about failure when it comes to just building your business and being an entrepreneur. Nobody talks about failure, even though freaking 95% of businesses fail. So I want to talk about failure because there's multiple reasons why people fail. And I remember watching an interview with Elon Musk, and the interviewer asked him about, like, hey, why'd you go into like 3 of the worst industries ever? I mean, you go into space, you go into the freaking car industry and the solar industry. Those are like the worst industries you can go into, especially the car industry and the space industry. And Elon Musk, he basically said the truth. He's like, well, to be honest, I thought we were going to fail. And he was 100% honest. He's like, I thought we were going to fail. And most people think like, he's a billionaire. What? He thinks he's going to fail? He started out thinking he was going to fail? That doesn't make any sense. And it makes sense because people just don't get it. People don't get the difference between being negative and being pragmatic. So make sure you understand the difference between being negative and being pragmatic. Being pragmatic is looking at the way things are. Being negative is just saying everything freaking sucks. But Elon Musk, and you'll notice all the top people in business are very pragmatic. They're very realistic. And you got to be realistic about failure, because if you don't understand why something fails, then you could possibly make the same mistake. So I want to talk about different reasons as to why people are going to fail. First off, they just go too slow. They're not taking enough action. They're not doing enough. And they're moving too slow. They're doing all the right things. They're just doing it too slow. If you're going too slow, you're going to fail, because you just won't be able to make money. You just won't be able to have any momentum behind you. You will fail if you move too slow. And also, another reason why people fail is they just don't have the knowledge. So they don't know exactly what to do. If you look at anyone who succeeds at anything, they maybe started out ignorant, but they learned as they went, and they got more knowledgeable about what needs to happen and the specific steps that need to happen in order to produce the result. So if you know exactly what to do, you're much more likely to get the right response. You're much more likely to make the thing happen. Another reason why people fail is they just don't invest money wisely. So maybe they spend money on stupid things that don't get an ROI, so they immediately get money. Oh, let me go buy a Mercedes. And they basically spend money on dumb things, or they just waste money without realizing it. So maybe they go out to eat more than they should, or they just spend money on things that don't make them money. If you look at all the billionaires, or almost all of them, probably all of them actually, you'll notice that they're all very cheap. And people constantly say, oh, he's very cheap. And the reason for this is because they learn to not spend money on things that don't make them money. So you got to get into this mode. You got to invest your money wisely. You can't get bored. So a lot of people underestimate the amount of work required in order to succeed at something. So when it comes to speaking on a stage, when I was building my business, the speaking and entertainment business, what happened was there was more work required than I imagined, than I ever could have imagined. And when I talk with other speakers, other people about building their business, the people who don't make it are the ones who think that they can contact 50 people and then someone's going to book them. The ones who do are the ones who realize they got to contact 500 million people and then one person's going to book them. If you underestimate the amount of work required to produce a lead, to generate profit, then you're always going to struggle. So I notice people, they get bored, they want the instant gratification. These are the people who always struggle. If you want that instant gratification, you will always struggle. Another reason why people fail is fear of the unknown. So fear of the unknown is essentially, people are afraid to spend money. And when you're afraid to spend money, you don't make any money. So if you're trying to sell a product and you have this brand new product and you've never done Facebook ads before, you're going to be afraid. You're going to say, I don't know if I'm going to make money by spending money on Facebook ads. And so what happens is they go into reading mode and they're like, oh, let me read, let me watch all these videos. And then 12 months later, they finally think about creating their Facebook ad. And if you're afraid to spend money on whether it's advertising, whatever, if you're afraid to spend money, you're going to struggle to get it. Another reason why people fail is really just unforeseen circumstances. So, for example, one of the moves that a lot of big businesses make is, and I'm not talking about like the speaking industry, I'm talking about like a big technology business, is someone will come up with a new technology, like 3D printing or something. They'll come up with a new technology. And then a big business, these guys who've been making freaking billions for a long time, they'll sue the little company and they'll sue them for patent infringement or something. And the little company is like, hey, we didn't copy you guys, we didn't do anything, you guys have no right to sue us. And the big company knows it. The big company is like, okay, yeah, of course you didn't copy us or whatever. But they sue them because they're tying up all their fees. Like, they're basically tying up their bank account, and they're causing this little company to spend all their money on legal fees, and the little company is going to go out of business. And that is an unforeseen circumstance, and that happens with all kinds of businesses. Maybe you're marketing yourself, and maybe you're speaking or something, and now your legs break or whatever. If your legs break, by the way, then just give me the gig. But whatever it is, there's an unforeseen circumstance, and that causes you to essentially not make money. But all of these are reasons why people can fail. You got to really understand that failure is real. It is real, and if you don't understand it, you're much more likely to fail. So failure is real, and don't let that fear get in the way. There's things like the imposter syndrome, where people they feel like an imposter and someone's going to find them out. These things will cause you to fail, and you have to realize that failure is real. So the thing is, nobody thinks it's going to happen to them. No, everybody, if you talk to anyone, everybody's like, okay, I'm pretty sure I'm going to succeed. And unless you're Elon Musk, where he's like, no, I'm pretty sure I'm going to fail. But everybody thinks they're going to succeed, and nobody really thinks that they're going to fail. But people do, and you got to realize there's a reason why, and you got to figure it out. And maybe you got to invest in the knowledge. You got to realize, like, hey, there's something you don't know that if you didn't know, it would help you succeed. It would get you to the point, to the levels where you want to get to. So just understand that there is a possibility of failure, but you want to be a long-term optimist. The best way is to really think like Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg. So Bill Gates, he essentially said that he's scared of the kid who's in the garage thinking of something new that they didn't even dream about. So you're always thinking optimistically, but you're still paranoid. Mark Zuckerberg, he actually, in the Facebook book that they hand to the employees, they literally say like, hey, if we don't find what kills Facebook, somebody else will. So it's good to be optimistic, but you still got to be paranoid, because you got to understand that businesses do go out of business. Businesses get dethroned. The Borders gone, Circuit City gone, Blockbuster gone. They get dethroned. So you got to think more like Bill Gates, more like Facebook, where, hey, if we don't figure out what kills the business, somebody else will. It is possible to fail. You just got to realize what causes failure, and then you got to get around it. You got to learn the information, the knowledge, everything to get around it, and keep moving, keep pushing forward no matter what happens.